Hella
So
sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of On It. I sincerely apologize for missing last episode, but I kind of don't.
you
Um,
can't.
I can't
No,
because I got a kid.
you have a children now.
I'm a father now.
Yes.
So now, as a father, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That would
As
be
a father in
it
America,
would it would suck if every take I have moving forward is just as a father.
dude. As a father, my
As a father,
kids.
like I go even like I double down on my love for Bronny.
Oh no. As a father, dude, I would totally draft my son, dude.
Dude,
I'm
I'm like
totally
I'm
giving
like
him
dude,
whatever he
like
wants.
I'm like how everybody is when they talk about LeVar.
Yes.
It's like in all serious, not to diss a fellow father, but
Yes.
sometimes it's a little too much where they're like, he's 3 for 3. No one can never say he was wrong, and it's like yeah, but it's like I mean yeah, it's like the genetics are crazy.
No, for real.
The genetics are crazy. You look
Yeah.
at him and the mom. It's like two just
See, but he said he picked a tall lady just
well,
for that.
yeah. Well, and then once I saw like she was a professional hooper
Yeah.
overseas and stuff, it's like oh okay, so it's like no
He was
you really went in the lab
he
and
was
like
breeding.
did this. You really so yeah. I guess if you go in the lab, you can really call your shot. I
Yes.
mean you could
You can
do
do
that.
whatever you
So
want. That's a puppy. It's a
but
puppy breed.
I would say 3 for 3 would be exactly what he said, which was all in
Yeah.
the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now Jello,
Jello was in the G.
we'll see what
Jello
happens.
was on the All Star court.
Jello was on the All Star
Jello
court.
was out there on my swerving.
He was the only ball brother
He
on
was the
the
only brother of Ball
All
was.
Star court. So yeah,
LeVar was in the
we got
hospital,
we got baby sleep. We got baby sleep in the
chilling,
other
bro.
room and stuff. But you know what? The podcast must continue. There ain't no stopping us now. Who's that? What song is that? I don't know what it is. I
Ain't
can't.
no stop it. I don't know
I
what
don't
that
know what
is.
song
It's a
it is.
dumb like 2010 song.
It's probably an older song, but we are back.
Yeah, it
And you're
sucks.
probably thinking, what does any of this have to do with sports? Absolutely nothing. But we do have sports to talk about, Devin.
Yes.
And, we got Deebo landing spots. I want to talk about some teams that didn't make the playoffs next year that might have a chance to make it. Or teams that didn't make it last year that might have a chance to make it next year. However you want to
Yes.
word it. I got some teams that CBS said are poised to fail next season. Shannon Sharpe
Mm.
said a bunch of stupid stuff. I got some more NBA teams in some hot seats, and I'm gonna have you guess some athletes because I forgot how good of a guess the athlete segment I had ready for you last episode
Yeah.
before it got canceled to go to the hospital. But Devin, there's a lot of conversations. There's a lot of talk and a very minimal amount of action going on.
Mm.
A lot of talk about the combine, a lot of talk about the draft, a lot of talk about quarterbacks and where they're going, wide receivers and where they're going, contracts, trades. There's still we're still seeing how everything's going to develop. After the All Star break in the NBA with Luka with the Lakers and Jimmy with the Warriors, and
Yep.
there's a lot of conversations, there's a lot of discussions, but not much going on. We're kind of
Yes.
waiting. We're kind of getting close to the important part of the regular season for the NBA until we get into the actual important part of the NBA season, which is the
The
playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah. I
Which
mean, we're starting to get into territory where there's going to be some teams eliminated from contention.
yeah, but see, because as of right now, though, like 4 to 7 is like so close.
Yeah.
All these teams are so close to each other. It's like we have no clue where they're actually going to end up at. So
Mm.
we're gonna see. We're getting closer to that part of the NBA where we're gonna be able to actually start talking some matchups in the playoffs. But I guess one player who we kind of tried to talk about in the deleted episode, but
Yeah.
I am gonna bring up again because last time we talked about him, I was kind of struggling trying to think of like wording where I thought the best place for him to land, and that's Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
So Deebo Samuel, obviously, he's been given they granted him to seek a trade and talk to teams or whatever.
Mm.
Um,
Is
I
it
guess
Debo looking for a trade, or is it the Niners saying
so
that they're
Deebo
going to
wants
trade?
out. Deebo wants out.
I thought it was the Niners saying they wanted to trade him.
Deebo tried to trade. Niners try to train Ayuk.
No, Ayuk wanted out.
Well, Ayuk wanted out, and then he got paid. But then they had a trade ready before the deadline with Pittsburgh.
You're right. Yeah. Well, he got hurt.
Um, but then so Deebo, no, he wants out. They granted him, the permission to seek to,
Trade.
to talk to other teams or whatever. But there's landing spots that I like.
Mhm.
There's landing spots I don't like, and it's specifically for Deebo because I don't want to hate on Deebo Samuel because obviously you could the problem is people go way too far when they want to hate on a player. They'll just post a picture of Deebo just dropping a pass and they're like he's a bum. See,
Sure.
Deebo Samuel's a bum. There's obviously no world where he's anywhere near he's nowhere near a bum.
Exactly.
He can go to a team and be a wide receiver one. But the thing about him is he's a tricky wide receiver one.
Yes.
For the 49ers, he was a wide receiver one. Now he also, if you look at all the weapons around him, he's never had to have the true wide receiver one workload. If that makes sense.
No. Well, I mean, if you look at it pre-CMC, pre-Ayuk, it was a lot of balls going to Kittle. Deebo did have a bigger role then, but his role has diminished since with CMC, with Ayuk. He's not getting as many rushing touches. He's not getting as many looks in the passing game.
So maybe a good analogy or a good comparison is I believe he can be a wide receiver one, but I also when you look at a Jamar or a Jefferson, you never see them being used in the backfield, or it's they are
true
pure
wide receivers.
wide receiver ones because do they have the talent or the athleticism to be worked in packages where they're more in motion or end arounds or in the backfield? They could, but because they're so great at that wide receiver one, why waste that time? It's kind of the conversation of Travis Hunter. It's focus on one thing and
play
perfect
DB.
that.
Yeah.
So it's why would someone like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase worry about, taking snaps in the backfield or, how they're going to work with this end around or this reverse? It's no, I'm going to go run any route on the tree and perfect it, and I'm going to be the best receiver in the league.
Exactly.
I feel like if Deebo is seeking a trade, it's got to be to a team who is win now, but also can't truly believe they can just throw the wide receiver one workload on him. I don't see a team who's win now and are going to take Deebo as their pure wide receiver one and throw him in the depth chart as that. He's going to have to be utilized to his best abilities. They're going to have to be able to use him in a package, but not overdo it. For example, one of the landing spots that I kind of like is LA, the Chargers.
Yeah.
The problem is Justin Herbert really needs a receiver. He needs a Quentin Johnson that can catch. No,
Quentin Johnson has the body to play.
Yeah, he has the body. He has the wide receiver build. It's just he don't got the wide receiver hands to do it.
Sucks.
So it's he needs a Quentin Johnson that can catch, and that's not putting down Deebo.
No, but Deebo's meant to be. At this point in his career, he's not. I wouldn't call him a team changer, but he is a cherry on top to a getting better offense. If they can have Ladd and then someone else, and then throw a Deebo on,
have Ladd, maybe go test the market, and who knows, maybe you can land an Amari or something. It's I don't know,
or a Chris Godwin.
Or a Chris Godwin. It's you could figure something out, but it's but then you wouldn't want to overdo it in the backfield, right? It's it would be crazy to see what they could do with a Deebo and a JK and a Gus, but that would be too much at one point.
I mean, that's the thing. It's the way that the Niners were playing Deebo is they had his rushing game in their system. That can be plays that they can run, but it doesn't need to be a once a game, or it doesn't have to happen every game. It can
But if
be
you
every few weeks or whatever.
if you got a quarterback like Brock Purdy who's coming into an offense who is really just a system quarterback, you're
Yeah.
gonna use someone like Deebo who's such a great tool to your advantage, opposed to someone like Justin Herbert who needs someone that's strictly downfield getting open.
Yeah.
And it's not that Deebo isn't that guy. It's just when we're relatively speaking in the wide receiver game,
Mm.
that's not who we're looking at when we're talking about those type of receivers.
No.
I'm talking about a D Hop type, a Julio type. I'm talking about someone that's gonna go down and get it, not
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna bring you in the backfield, or you're really gonna be a gadget guy, but
For
you're gonna have the talent of wide receiver one, but we're really gonna. I wouldn't say. I mean, you're gonna be a gadget guy as well. Um, so that's the thing with LA. It's like that's questionable. But then you look at a team like obviously would be. I'm interested to see what you think, and that's Washington, who the reason that they are specifically in this conversation is if they are 100% going to spend money on a receiver.
Mhm.
Because you look at, especially cap hit for next season, I looked at, it's way less than what Cooper Cup is going to, than what Cooper Cup's cap hit would be. It's going to be obviously a lot less than what T. Higgins is going to end up getting.
Yep.
So I think the next best, or even better, I mean, depending on where you even rank who, where,
Yeah.
cap wise, you could bring over someone like Deebo to Washington. It's a veteran receiver paired up with a quarterback who doesn't need a veteran receiver. Like the thing is, you can have quarterbacks who it's like, all right, maybe if we bring in this veteran, it can help elevate his game.
Sure. Yeah.
Like. So, for instance, like next season, Deebo going in could probably help elevate Bo Nix's game even more, right?
Yeah.
But their best outcome is probably like maybe fighting for a wild card spot.
Yes.
And like I said, maybe elevates Bo Nix's game a little bit. Like maybe,
Yes.
and that's a maybe.
Yeah.
That's
But
a big maybe.
I mean, for us, yeah, it's not like a crucial move.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for like I said, it's like he's a cherry on top to our already decent offense. Now, I think if we want to be a good offense for a long time, I think we have to get a better running game. I think we have to add in a player like a Deebo or just another receiver who's more experienced or who can help Terry out a little bit. But yeah, I don't hate him coming over if it's cost effective. But we have a ton of money. So.
Yeah, you guys have plenty of money, plenty of room to work with. But then I'm also looking at like I said, like Jaden Daniels. It's not that he needs any help. It's if anything, it's like, I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Deebo would benefit from a quarterback like Jaden Daniels throwing to him compared to Brock Purdy.
Yes.
Like that's just what it is. Like,
Sure.
I think Deebo would benefit more from this move than Jaden Daniels would. Jaden Daniels would just purely off of, I mean, they're on the same team, so their success is the same.
Yes.
But I'm saying if you, in a magic crystal ball, looked at two different scenarios where next year he was on the team versus a multiverse where he wasn't, I think Jaden Daniels excels in both universes.
Of course.
But if Deebo goes and plays with like Drake May, I don't know if he has as good as a season with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hopefully that made sense. I think
Yeah.
that all made
No,
sense.
I got you.
But like I said, if they're gonna 100% spend money on a wide receiver, you bring him in. I think you guys are bringing back Zach Ertz, so there's two veteran pass catchers in your offense, plus Terry, who obviously is, I mean, a veteran in his own right, but
Exactly.
He's still, he's prime Terry. That's your obvious wide receiver one.
He is getting older, but
like we talked about, I don't think Deebo is going to go over to the Commanders and go, I'm obviously wide receiver one. Who's Terry McLaurin?
no, exactly. No, he's going to be an addition to that offense. It'll be a nice addition. It'll take some pressure away from Terry. It'll give us some different looks on offense and whatever. But
I think that can open up to the point where you're looking at four. You're looking at Terry, Deebo, Zach, Luke. You might be able to get Luke cooking in the
I'd like
slot.
to see Luke get cooking.
You might be able to. I
Zach, I
mean,
don't really care about keeping or not. I don't know how his contract works or whatever, but I don't really care.
I believe. I believe it
We
was
didn't
all.
really utilize the tight end much this year, and I don't expect us doing that down the road.
I believe I could be making this all up, but I'm pretty sure I saw something all leaning towards it be team friendly if he returned.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a. It's not a negative to have him,
Mm,
but he's not going to be a big part of this offense.
we'll see. I mean,
Yeah, we'll see
the thing is, if you're going into each
if
week
we need him.
with the defense having to worry about Terry and Debo,
Yeah,
might get Zach even more looks.
it's true.
But there's another team who I honestly
Deami
think
Brown too. It's nice
there's another team that I do think has the best odds.
to get Deebo.
It's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's fair.
Like there's this crazy world.
They've had the best odds to get everybody apparently.
Well, there is this crazy world where they kind of just collect Infinity Stones, like pick up, Aaron Rodgers,
For real.
trade for Debo. Maybe Devontae even follows behind Aaron, like, and the Steelers.
And
just
then
turn
what?
And then they still have
9 wins.
They re-sign Najee because he's a free agent. They re-sign Najee. That defense is still lethal.
Yeah.
No, Devin, not 9 wins.
You telling me not 9 wins?
I'm telling you, 12
What?
or 13.
10 wins?
It would have to, dude. If here's the thing, if
See,
that was
at this point, I'm not sure how. I'm not sure like if they know how to play like better football. They know how to play just good enough football, or slightly above average football.
but the team I just said, if they weren't top 2 in the AFC, Mike Tomlin should be fired.
Exactly.
Like I get it. This whole
So this
time,
might be a bad move for Mike Tomlin.
well,
Like if this team doesn't
that's
win
kind
12, 13 games.
like you've said before. It's like, bro, it's like why would Mike Tomlin want like all this pressure on him to win even more when he's kind of just skated by,
For real.
just
Just there.
Look, I don't have losing seasons, and I make the playoffs. That's what I do as Mike.
But to
Tomlin.
me, it's like, I don't know. It seems like every year they're just like, let's not lose. Let's not lose 9 games.
Yeah.
And it's cool, but they know they're not good enough. They're trying to work with whatever the fuck they got for some reason. Not getting good draft picks, not getting whatever. But, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, and then George Pickens, obviously we didn't even mention, but obviously that's somebody who I thought of where George Pickens, who I believe is a receiver who, no matter what, if you want to put the label on receivers and call them divas or whatever, I think he's young. I think he has a lot of pressure. I think there's a lot of expectations from the wide receiver 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think there's always been an expectation, a high expectation for 1.
Yeah.
And I think he has the talent to take that on. I think he wants to take it on. I think the Steelers still plan for him to take that on. Having Deebo on the other side of that field, though, or on that ball,
yes,
it would help great. It would help.
Well, I think that'll help him be a better wide receiver 1. But the biggest thing with him being a solid wide receiver 1 is getting him a stable quarterback. He hasn't been in a stable quarterback room since he's hit the league. I know we put a lot on him, but motherfucker's been playing with some dog shit before Russ and Justin, and even then it's not the best shit. But
so I mean, but the thing is though, if you say you want him to stay familiar with his quarterback and going, moving on in the future,
yeah,
would you say moving on from Russ is the best move? Because you're only going to get 9 or 10 wins, but if you go get Aaron Rodgers, let's say you get Aaron Rodgers or Matt Stafford, you got them for what, 1 or 2 years,
mm-hmm.
and then you're finding another quarterback for George Pickens to play with.
Yeah.
So what is
if I don't know. The Pittsburgh Steelers haven't thought in a win now way in a long time.
Yeah, no.
But if I were the Steelers, I'm going all out because you know you're gonna get 9 wins next year. That's that. Take a fucking risk. Mike Tomlin it's cool. He's been there for fucking damn near 20 years at this point.
Mm.
This has to end at some point. go for it. You could win a championship. They're not going to win one with Russ. They're not going to win one with this team.
See, but he won his Super Bowl so early and then
I
just
know.
continued to be in the conversation. They're never a win now. They're always like a we could win now.
But that was fucking, what, 16 years ago? Yeah,
That
it's
was a
like, no,
long
we
time
could
ago.
get back there.
No, it's always that with the Steelers. It's like,
I
no,
know.
we could ball. We could go out there and win more games, but 10-7 is cool.
Yeah,
Like we're good. We're good
like,
here.
this is nice. Well, it's more so like, well, look at the team that we have. Look at the guys that we're doing this with. It's like you actually
Yeah.
have some guys out there. You have some big pieces out there, but they're not surrounded by the right things. You got
Yeah.
one of the best defensive players of all time. You got a great running back. You got a great receiver. You had a few great receivers. You had better running backs. You had,
Yeah, and I mean
Ben's old, whatever.
Tomlin's the wide receiver guru. I mean, why
He's the
not
guy.
bring Deebo over there, who's having some trouble in San Fran, and make him a little happy in Pittsburgh? Um,
I think they can make a trade worthwhile for the Niners.
some other spots I don't like. Obviously I brought up Drake May. I don't really like New England.
No,
More so because it really seems like, at least in the media, that like New England thinks their window for winning is like the
soon.
next year or two.
Yeah,
And in my eyes, they're more of a let's see how they are 5 years down the line.
sure.
Like that's not the team Debo needs to go to if he's trying to win, you know?
Well, Debo's getting up there,
Yeah.
and it's
It,
like
it,
he's
it's a
still
waste
injury
of time.
prone. He's still this and he's still that. So he's got to win
Like
soon if he wants
that
to.
that's a sole move to help develop Drake May.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Like that's
Yeah.
all that
Or
would
just to
do.
help this Pats team look a little bit better,
Yeah.
but going
Get to
there isn't
nine
going to fix
wins,
anything.
maybe. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
but besides that, it's kind of a waste of time for any win now situation.
fuck
Um,
that. Yeah,
and then the last team, it's only because they're brought up. I'm fully against it, and I am part of this community, Devin. That is the Baltimore Ravens.
yeah.
I do not want Deebo Samuel. I
No.
do not want him to be a Raven.
Now
Um,
what? Now what if he does become a Raven?
I'll embrace him.
Obviously,
I'll embrace him because I've had to embrace, players like Odell.
Odell. Yeah,
I've had to embrace,
Deshaun Jackson.
I don't know I've never had a problem with Deshaun, but I don't know who I've had to embrace that I didn't really like for the Ravens. Actually,
Willie
now that I think
Snead.
about it, Willie Snead was okay he had Ravens mentality.
He
Uh,
did.
he had Ravens
He
mentality.
had
I like
Ravens
him.
receiver mentality. Fall
Like
in
he was
line,
the
pal.
opposite of Deontay Johnson.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah, which is what
Deontay's
I
fucking
needed.
himself, and it wasn't y'all who were like, "Yo, this guy stinks." It's like,
No.
no, he fucked himself as a Texan. He's fucking himself everywhere.
Yeah, well, it's like he was okay with getting a bunch of looks for a shitty team like Carolina, but then came to Baltimore and was like, wait. I'm not getting 30
It's like,
snaps.
for real.
Wait, I'm getting 4 snaps today?
Yeah.
Wait, but we're gonna win by 3 touchdowns? Fuck
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Like that's him.
Yeah.
That's Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
But
Stay in
Baltimore,
Carolina, bro.
and this was the main point, like when I really thought like, all right, I need to say I'm not trying to hate on Debo, but this kind of sounds like I'm hating on Debo. It's I don't think as a wide receiver one that he is good enough at one thing that is worth, taking over, time for Zay or Rashad.
Mm.
Like, I think when Zay is healthy, Rashad looks a lot better, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And what Lamar can do with him, I don't think he is going to be able to do any more with Debo.
Yeah.
Because, like we talked about with like Deontay, it's like it's going to be a fall in line situation where Debo is not. We have Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And Lamar
We're not
Jackson.
running the ball with you ever.
Yeah, and you're not going to take on a wide receiver one workload, so we're not paying you wide receiver one money.
Yeah, exactly.
We have 2 tight ends we're looking at before we're looking at you.
For real. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's not even wide receiver 2 money.
it's like we do not need that. And like you said, like how would you feel? I'd embrace it, but I
Yeah.
really think there's more negative than positive.
Well,
Unless
I think if he did, in a perfect world, if he did fall in line, and he does play as a as another option. I don't see him being like a wide receiver 3, but being a 2A 2B with Rashad
Mm-hmm.
is fine. Um,
Yeah.
but if he's willing to accept that and not expect tons of targets and tons of touches and all that shit,
Yeah.
which
It's like Nelson
is kind of the
Aguilar.
reason why he wanted to leave San Fran, because he was running the ball so much and doing all this and
And
doing
he's
all
so
that. But
damn, and he's getting banged up so much. But it's like
yeah,
that's why like Ravens are keeping Nelson around. It's like because
exactly.
we do appreciate a guy that we can somewhat rely on and
Yeah,
isn't bitching and moaning about the looks or reps.
for real.
Um, but yeah, are we gonna predict the spot for Debo? Do we have a prediction?
It's so tough nowadays. Well, I guess it's always tough. Um, I don't know if I see us making the move. I can see the Chargers making the move.
Mm,
I could also see the Bills making a move.
really?
Maybe. I mean, if they want, I mean, they're coming off of Josh's best year or whatever. They did it without stellar receiver talent. I think they could take him on, take
I,
some pressure off of James Cook. Oh, well, James Cook wants. I'm sitting out here like it's crazy money. He wants 15 mil. I was about to be like, he wants insane money. He wants 15 mil.
and obviously, I think James Cook is like a must, is a must keep.
Yes,
Going into the future. But I almost feel like, and maybe this is where ego might hurt, but like in for the Bills' sake, but they might be thinking the same way I'm thinking about Lamar and the Ravens. It's like, does Josh Allen need to bring in Deebo on wide receiver one type money? Like, does Josh Allen need that? I don't think he
yeah,
does. It's obviously would be nice, but if we're gonna go into the wide receiver market, I like I said, I think more of a pure wide receiver,
agreed.
Like when I say that, it's no disrespect on, like it's not like calling a quarterback a system quarterback,
Sure.
but it's just like because you do have your own skill set, you do have your
Yes.
own. You are a very I don't know, skilled individual. It's
Yeah.
just when we're talking about adding a piece to the Buffalo Bills and what Josh Allen needs to be throwing
I
to.
mean, maybe we'll see him utilized differently. Maybe we'll see him utilized straight up as a wide receiver. No other funny
But at
business
this
going on.
at this point in his career,
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, he seemed to think that the rushing touches were kind of hurting his health a little bit. So
see, maybe it's nothing to do with if he can do it. I just don't think it's worth it.
yeah, agreed.
I don't think it's worth the money because if we're talking about you're getting paid as this wide receiver that can do all these other things and you have all these other tools in your belt and you're not going to utilize them and
Mm-hmm.
you're still getting paid that same money, oh, what are we doing?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
why are we
It's
paying you
true.
this money that San Fran was paying you was San Fran was giving you a different amount of money to do a different thing.
Yes,
So we can't have you coming over, saying, hanging up
doing half of that.
the end arounds and hanging up the backfield, work. It's like
Sure.
I don't know if you can go that way and if it'd be worth it for all that money. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna say Pittsburgh. That's my prediction. Pittsburgh.
I
Now,
want to say Pitt, and I think they will get it, but I don't know. I think it'd be more interesting to see him in L.A.
what's
I'm not too.
interesting?
I'm just not up on Pittsburgh if they don't make a change at quarterback. I don't think Russ is gonna. I mean, again, they
Sorry, I
might
got
make the
dinged.
playoff.
You're good. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs. They'll do that, but um, they're not going to be scaring anybody. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, unless they get Aaron, go all out and get everybody, or get Stafford or whomever. Um,
Stafford's interesting. We'll talk about him next episode, but
yeah,
I have no clue.
I haven't even looked at it.
Like they're leaning more and more towards him leaving the Rams, and I have absolutely no clue.
Well, initially it was like, yo, we want to get rid of Cooper, and then it's like we're gonna get rid of everybody. It's like,
We
all right.
we might just be rebuilding.
Well, at this point, it's like Sean McVay just should retire. He
No,
thought about
he
retiring
shouldn't
after they.
retire. I don't think he should
He
retire.
thought about retiring after they won a Super Bowl.
I don't remember that. Are you thinking
He
about
was
Aaron Donald?
seriously considering retirement.
Sure, you're not thinking about Aaron Donald. Sean McVay's pretty young for a coach.
No, I know he was the youngest coach
I
for
don't.
a while.
There's
He's
no
like
way.
I don't even know if he's 40 yet, but no, he was
Oh, he's got to be
considering retirement.
40. Sean McVay's got to be 40.
He got the job at 32. He's probably 40.
How old do you think Sean McVay is?
I think he won a Super Bowl at 37. I think he's 40.
Sean
39 or
McVay
40.
is 39 years old.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
and he just turned 39 this year.
Yeah, because he got the job, I think he was 32. 31 or 32.
There's no way he had to be joking. Like
What do you mean?
he had to have been
No,
joking when he considered.
he was like I'm getting married. I just want to hang it up.
Not retired and plans to continue. However, he has considered in the past.
Yeah,
After winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He considered leaving for a broadcasting role, but right after signed an extension through 2026.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
2022 struggled with a burnout season. He admitted to feeling lost with his team's identity and whatever. 2024, he's gonna stay around.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got an extension now, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think
But
Rosen-
it is weird that they're going for a full rebuild. I thought they had a little bit left in the tank. After this year, it kind of looked like shit, but
We'll see. Well, I don't think it's. I mean, but the thing is, if you're gonna give anybody a chance to rebuild, I'd give the 39-year-old head coach with plenty of time left to
agreed.
rebuild. Like
Of
I don't
course.
think there'd be.
Well, I
any
mean
reason.
but that's relying on the fact that he will be around for a while.
Well, it's not Tom Coughlin. You know what I mean? Like it's just
It's not Tom Coughlin.
You know that you can bank on him
Not
waking
Andy
up
Reid.
tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like there's you know you got that going for you.
Yeah.
All right. So this is something that I was thinking and I was kind of interested in because we had a pretty close end, like the end of the season. It was a pretty close race for some of those wild card spots and where teams were going to place and if the Bengals were going to make it and all this stuff.
Sure.
So I got some teams who didn't make the playoffs this year, and I want to come up with the top 5 non-playoff teams with the best playoff chances next season.
Yeah. I think the Bengals should be one.
Okay, so I wrote down Bengals, and all I wrote for is this a question?
Yeah.
I
Shouldn't
think
be.
Kind of puts them at 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Cincinnati can come back next season. Honestly, a couple changes, and they could.
They might
out.
not. They're honestly a couple plays. They were a couple plays away from being a playoff team. So
Yeah.
it's not like they need to revamp the whole thing to make the playoffs, but if they want to be a true contender, they got to improve on defense. Got to make some adjustments. Just in terms of, I mean, with an offense that good, maybe score less quick, run the ball a little bit more, waste some time, take the ball out of the other team's hand, because they were putting up 38, 40 fucking points some games,
Yeah,
and then
those
getting spanked.
That Ravens game, I mean, stress to the max.
For real.
Because it was just back and forth, and Joe Burrow just throwing the most amount of yards on a defense that you can possibly throw.
For real.
I mean, it was ridiculous. So yeah,
Same thing
Bengals,
against us. I mean, it was like we're going back and forth with this fucking team because they keep scoring so goddamn quick, dude. They keep just burning people.
They figure out that defensive side of the ball. I think they're obviously the number 1 team on this list.
For sure.
What about San Fran?
I mean, it depends on how they look.
And not to cut you off, you want me to throw out a couple, or you want to go one by one?
You can throw out a few, yeah.
Okay, so I got San Fran here. Okay, I got 2 NFC West. I got San Fran. I got Seattle.
Okay, yeah.
And what were you saying about San Fran? Or what did you say?
Well, we just don't know how they're going to look. Like, I would have thought if they tried to keep everybody, they tried to keep Deebo and this whole group together, I think that they can make the playoffs. This will kind of be their last run. Everyone's kind of getting old. But if they're losing a bunch of guys, then maybe they don't add some pieces or whatever. But still, I think if McCaffrey's healthy, a lot of these, if Ayuk's healthy, if they keep Deebo, maybe.
Yeah, and you know what else? Like, if they could, they might go the other route where it's like, okay, we'll bank on what we got, and that's a healthy Ayuk. Let's say we traded away Deebo. We're gonna run with Brock, like you said, contract year for Brock. We're gonna run with Brock. Yep. We're gonna run with hopefully Kittle's healthy. Hopefully McCaffrey's healthy. What if we try to go trade for like Miles Garrett? What if we what
Ah,
if we what if we go make a defensive move that where it's like, because the thing about San Fran, it's like, all right, let's just double down on the fact that y'all really don't have the most explosive offense when it comes to what you're actually going to be able to put produce on the field because of who your quarterback is. It's like there's
yeah.
obviously all these fantasy bookings for who could be the quarterback for the Niners with all these weapons they've had the past few years, but we
Mm.
already know that really in reality a good day for Brock Purdy is 20 points.
Uh,
24?
well, 20 points produced by him.
Yes, but what I'm saying is if you can
Yeah,
have a defense come in there and double down on that defense and maybe even
yeah.
make them a little more dominant.
Miles Garrett is
You have Miles Garrett and Bosa. You have Garrett and Bosa.
Fred Warner,
That is ridiculous.
Trey Greenlaw.
Fred Warner. Oh my God, that
Like you
would
just got
be
you. Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's a huge improvement. I
And
mean, you could throw a lot of guys on that team just to, except for Chase Young, but a lot of guys just to help out.
and we just talked the Deebo trade. What if they just say, "Yo, we're gonna send you to Cleveland, and we want Miles Garrett. Have fun.
Oh
Have fun being
fuck!
a Brown. Have fun being around." We just completely unwrapped the entire Deebo segment right there. Boom.
I mean,
Deebo's going
it's
to Cleveland. Miles Garrett's going to the 49ers. There you go.
it's
There's your trade.
perfect for Cleveland. I mean, it's not what Deebo wants,
No,
but they get a receiver whose career they can kind of ruin. Um,
like they usually
Miles Garrett's
do.
gone.
Yeah.
They'll probably get money and draft picks from it as well. So
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't. Why not?
but it would be. I don't know. I don't want to see him disappear like Jarvis did.
Yeah,
Like
he'll disappear
Jarvis
pretty quick.
Landry,
Gone.
like just
Like
disappeared.
it's bad when like we've seen it a lot in the NBA where it's like 3 or 4 years after your career finishes, you go and retire. It's like I didn't even
Yeah.
know you fucking still wanted to play anymore.
I had zero
I didn't
clue.
know you still had a shot out here. Actually,
I don't know what bro's doing. They could tell me he's on one of these XFL teams, and I would believe it.
I have no idea.
'Cause
Yeah,
I had no
exactly.
clue.
Yeah,
But San Fran, like, I mean, if they were healthy, they probably could have won the West last year or this past season.
no, they would have. They would have won the
They
West.
would have.
I
They
mean,
would
yeah,
have won
with
it.
how bad the fucking West is.
So
Seattle's a weird team.
now the reasoning for Seattle is I'm obviously not the biggest. I'm not the most bought into Geno, and I think that's
I don't think
understandable.
Seattle is. They should
But
be.
I do believe this is the final run with this particular squad. Like I think after
Yeah,
this year, if it goes, a 9-win season and everything goes down the toilet, it's DK's finding a new home.
yep.
I think maybe both running backs in that backfield are finding new homes. Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to go a different direction, a
I
different
think
route.
Tyler Lockett retires.
Tyler Lockett retires. They're going to go
Yeah,
a different route, with the quarterback wise. If they're getting rid of all their pieces, I mean,
yeah.
I think this is the final run, and I think part of them might know that.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I think they do all know that, and I
Mhm.
think that I don't know if anyone's talked about it, but maybe call last year your final run and get some money out of these guys, get some
This is
players out of these guys, get draft picks out of these
this is
guys.
Geno's last year on his contract.
Okay,
This is Geno's last year.
but honestly, I would cut my losses, man. I would
No,
go out and look for a trade for Kenneth. They're not gonna do anything with this team. At best, they win the West, and they win the West only if the West is topped by a 9-win team. They might make the playoffs, maybe. If they do, they're getting bounced immediately.
I don't know though. It's.
I mean, DK's only got so much time in his true prime.
Mm,
He's a little bit older than AJ Brown. I think he's probably like 27, 28. But
is DK older than AJ?
I think so.
Yeah, let me see. I don't.
I know
I
they
don't
were
know
on the
pretty close.
same Ole Miss squad.
Yeah, they're definitely on the squad at some point. But maybe one came out. Was that picture not them together? The infamous DK picture, was that not AJ Brown with him?
I
Or am
don't
I
think
just
AJ was in that one, but
or am I
AJ
just
has pictures
confusing?
like that with him. I'm pretty sure. But two specimens coming out of fucking Ole Miss
A lot of ballers coming out of Ole Miss.
for real.
Atlanta
Ugh.
more so because the South is winnable and Penix is unpredictable.
I forgot about Penix, yeah, and they're
You
not
know,
even.
it's
Kirk is. Kirk's
see,
another mystery out there that could
but
go
then
help
like
a team out.
what about the Saints then? If we're talking about the South, right? Because I think the Saints could be a quarterback away from pushing for the NFC South.
Yeah, but they're gonna ride with Derek Diesels down there.
I don't know, bro. I don't think they're riding with Derek Carr.
They shouldn't.
I don't think they are. I think all of these teams being in conversations for all these quarterbacks, there's just no way that all like half of these quarterbacks are just gonna be like, oh, so you guys spent like all offseason looking for my replacement and you guys are just gonna settle with me? All right. Like I feel like some of these quarterbacks might be finding other homes before they get a chance to like I'm saying like
Derek Carr, that's for sure.
unless the Saints miss out on everyone,
Yeah, exactly.
like I besides taking a lateral move, a
I don't
lateral
think.
step,
Yeah, I don't think Kellen Moore wants to start his. If I was Kellen Moore, I'd rather start with a rookie
yeah,
than Derek Carr.
yeah, or an undeveloped like a Justin Fields.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe something
I
like
don't want
that.
to start with a washed vet. Um,
Absolutely not.
who did they just get on that coaching staff?
Over in
New Orleans.
old Gator coach.
Brandon Staley, DC,
Oh,
from the Chargers. Chargers
oh,
head coach,
yes,
former head
not who
coach.
I was thinking of somebody
No,
else.
yeah. There was
Um,
a Broncos linebacker coach who just got apparently punched a cop in the face. Just read
interesting,
that, so good for
interesting.
him.
I haven't,
I haven't seen anything yet. Hopefully, there's a video. I think that'd be cool.
I have not seen that at all. But then, then we're looking at someone like Dallas.
Yep.
Like I know Dallas is I know Dallas is hated,
Dallas should be hated.
but
Yes.
in theory, if they were healthy, they're probably pushing for a spot in the playoffs.
No, I think they're definitely pushing for a spot. I think. I mean, honestly, last year, regardless of health, it would have been very difficult for them to make the playoffs.
Mm.
Um, I mean, who were the NFC wildcards?
The NFC wild cards were you guys, the
Us,
Packers, and
us
the
Packers, and
Vikings.
the Vikings.
Hmm.
So honestly, it would have been damn near impossible. That's what, at least 11 wins.
Hmm.
It's not an easy run into the playoffs. So they would have had to have a crazy season. They weren't going to win the division. So
No, they definitely were not going to win the division. But
yeah,
if you look at a team like the Vikings, we have
mm,
absolutely no clue what they're going to look like next year.
no,
I mean, and Jordan Love's injuries, they're so hit or miss from last year. I don't even know what he's going to look like or what he dealt with this past
yeah.
season.
I think the North is that was a lightning in a bottle type of season. They're not going to look like that again next year.
No, I
It's
don't.
impossible.
I'm not calling for Detroit's downfall, but I think
No,
their Super Bowl window is
it's slimming down a little bit.
it's closing. It's closing a lot quicker than I think they thought it would.
Yes,
The other team I got, it's a team that went 8-9 with half an Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco.
nice.
So in theory,
Yeah,
if you can go 8 and I know it's not the most, it's not the there's no names that are not the most popping names. It's okay.
yeah.
Jonathan Taylor's cool. We got some pieces,
Michael
but
Pittman.
at the end of the day, when you go 8-9 with a 39-year-old and a quarterback that doesn't even really want to be there because he's tapping himself
Quarterback is not
out,
really a quarterback.
who knows what they can do if you have one more offseason of maybe maybe a better developed Anthony Richardson. Maybe.
Hopefully, we get development. Yes.
But if we're going out of these 5 teams, or out of these teams and making a top 5, I think Cincinnati goes 1. I think from the
Yeah.
conversation we had, San Fran goes 2.
Yeah, but that's just solely depending on how they look.
But
Injuries.
I'm starting to think if we're looking at Dallas, New Orleans, Colts, Seattle, Atlanta. If there's anybody else that you think of that didn't make it, I mean,
Yeah.
throw them out
I,
there.
no, I truly think that Dallas should be up there. I think they
I
have
think they're
the.
3.
Yeah, no,
I think
I
they're
think they
over
have the ability
Seattle.
to.
Go ahead. Sorry. They had the ability
Well,
to.
no, definitely over Seattle. But yeah, I think if you get a healthy Dak, who maybe has some more focus. I know they have a new head coach, but doesn't it's not really much of a change.
It's still Jerry's team. I mean,
it's
it's
always
going to be
Jerry's
what
team.
it is. They're always going to be a team that if they miss the playoffs, they should have made it because it's Jerry or whatnot.
Exactly.
And if they make it, they're going to lose. But it's
Yeah.
Jerry. So third, yeah, I'd probably say Dallas, and then Atlanta. Like I'm probably going with New Orleans over Atlanta if we're talking just chances of and the moves they can make. Like I'm saying, if they make a quarterback move,
Yes.
I think they have a better chance than the Falcons. Because I can't.
I think the Falcons right now have a better chance.
Yes, right as of right now. Because I can't, and I'm not trying to shit on Michael Penix, but I do think next year is his, it's gonna be his first year as a full starter.
Full starter.
It is. He's going into the season knowing it's his team, so I think there's gonna be some bumps in the road.
Of course.
And if we're looking at someone maybe Aaron Rodgers or Matt Stafford coming in with a Kamara, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, maybe just a little bit of a better season next year.
Yeah.
But
you don't have a young quarterback like Penix looking at Kyle Pitts, who is basically the Zion of
the NFL.
The NFL at this point,
Yeah.
who doesn't get injured and isn't overweight, just isn't living up to expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But
and I think Seattle goes over all those teams.
Yeah,
I think Seattle can go at 4.
Yeah, I mean they're still a fairly put together team. They can go out and beat decent teams, but
I mean they were competing with they were competing with a battered San Fran. They were competing with a but then they had those moments where it's like, what, didn't they lose by just like 6 to Detroit? Didn't they have like a crazy like 41-35?
And then they would go off and lose to the Cardinals or something.
Yeah, so it's like they're a very hit or miss team. But
the Cardinals could be a team if they get a new everything.
Arizona over the Colts?
No.
New Orleans?
No.
Atlanta?
But I'm just saying that they could be a team that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm asking.
If they make some big changes, could be.
Because all we got is this 5 spot left, and I mean. I'm personally, it's New Orleans, but I don't know if they make that quarterback move.
I would say the Falcons for now, New Orleans if they make a move.
Okay, I can agree with Atlanta at 5. So top 5 teams that missed the playoffs this year with the best chances to make the playoffs next year. Atlanta at 5, Seattle at 4, Dallas at 3, San Fran at 2, Cincinnati at 1.
Yeah.
I kind of like that list. I like that.
Cincinnati better make the playoffs.
I like
and then next time we can do the reverse.
Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely. We're doing top 5 playoff teams with the worst chances to make it next year.
Of course.
Okay. Shannon Sharpe. He's I like him. He's cool. But sometimes he says things that are a little dumb. The
when you talk on the internet for 18 hours a day, you're gonna say something stupid.
You're gonna say something stupid along the lines of our 2000 Ravens would have beaten this Eagles team.
What do you mean? Like that's his take?
Yeah.
Would have beaten this Eagles team?
He said the 2000 Ravens would have beaten this Philly team. Mentioning the defense, saying that Saquon would have only had 37 yards, he would have been under 40. Playing by
Saquon wasn't a factor in the Super Bowl much at all.
Not at all. You're right. He mentions D linemen. We got Saragusa, we got Michael McCray, but then you got Ray over there. You got Peter Bowler. You got all these names. It's like, okay,
that 2000s Ravens never seen that tush push before, brother.
And it's like, look, I am not going to disrespect the best defense of all time.
Exactly.
But
they were the best defense of all time.
There was a worst offense of all time on the other side of the ball. I mean, that's just what
the 2000 Ravens are not in the conversation for best team of all time.
Trent Dilfer, 134 for 226, 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Hey, he wasn't.
And a rookie, Jamal Lewis. and a rookie Jamal Lewis. Now, and they used
Was that the year Jamal ran for 2K?
He ran for 2K
Oh.
like 2003, I think. 2003,
Yeah,
I believe.
no, you're right.
Either way,
It was there,
yes, this defense would put up a great performance against a lot of teams in today's game, especially if you want to use the card that Shannon used, which was if they play by their rules. Here's the problem, though.
Well, you could take people out of games?
Here's the problem. First, if you flip it and say, if you play by today's rules,
yeah,
what does that mean? So are you saying
exactly?
So are you saying like especially if we go by their rules, or are you saying if we had to go by today's rules, they'd get smoked?
Yeah,
because I'm thinking that that's the case. And then on the flip side,
went by today's rules.
If we went by today's rules, the Ravens defense.
Yes.
I mean, what are we doing? What are we talking about?
Agreed.
But if we had to even look at it like Shannon said and said, if we played by the 2000 rules, well, I mean, out of all teams you could have picked, you're gonna pick the team that has the offensive linemen with the average of 6'8" and 3 whatever, and defensive linemen who are 6'5", who are bigger than Tony Saragusa and bigger than Michael McCray, and bigger than these guys on this 2000. And I get it. It's like, no, Ray Lewis would have made some tackles. It's like, no, Ray Lewis would have been able to catch Saquon. But like, I'm sorry, but like, yes, like Chris McAllister shows up to a Baltimore game, he's gonna get all the love.
Of course.
But you're like guarding Devontae Smith. Like you're going up
a Heisman winner.
You're going up with AJ.
AJ's like, they're all respect to older receivers and all that stuff. None of them look like AJ. None of them are as strong as AJ. They're I don't know. It's different.
But then like Shannon's bringing up like 35-year-old Rod Woodson.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, like I get it. It's like, no,
we know he's a Hall of Fame. We know he was on that squad, but
it's like, yeah, Goose might stuff up the middle. Goose might interrupt the tush push. Ray's gonna make some plays.
Yeah,
but if we're looking on a full out game, this is stupid.
I mean, y'all played the.
This is stupid. Look at Jalen Carter. Look at Jordan Davis. Look at that defensive line. Look at Saquon.
Yeah.
Look at what we had to. Now I'm not acting like Jalen's this fucking almighty dual threat quarterback, but if you put Jalen Hurts in 2000, people would be like,
"Holy fuck!
Who the fuck is this?"
Mike Vick before Mike Vick.
Yeah, I mean it's well, it's definitely not that, but
I know, but it's Jalen is a extremely mobile quarterback in 2000.
Yes, he is he makes
one of the most mobile quarterbacks.
Like he would make someone like Warren Moon or Steve McNair. It's like, y'all are running gun.
For real.
Jalen Hurts is a mobile quarterback. Like that's how he'd be in 2000. Because even like Mahomes or Josh Allen would be like the most mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But this is an awful take. I truly believe if Shannon Sharpe wasn't on that team, he wouldn't feel this way.
1,000%.
Because this is such a random thing. Like the only conversation would be how would the 2000 Ravens defense play against this offense? Like now that's a conversation that you can have.
Exactly. It's a one-sided conversation. The other way it doesn't make any sense.
And
I mean, but you guys the Ravens offense would have to play that defense.
Yes.
And it would go much worse. It would go so much worse.
Like we're talking prime Saquon, rookie Jamal Lewis. We're talking AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, Quadre Ismail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just
it's not the same. One of the worst offenses to win a Super Bowl. Shit. Damn near one of the worst offenses to just be mildly successful.
I'm not gonna lie. I might take my money on just a chance to win on our 2013 team.
No, agree.
Just the odds.
I think that would be a closer matchup.
It'd be a way closer matchup. It would be.
You got somewhat prime T Sizzle.
We'd be way more opened up on the offensive side of the ball, and it would be a different. It's not Trent Dilfer running the offense.
There was no passing threat.
It's
in that Ravens team.
No, 12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, Devin.
Super scary.
And that's the thing. It's like out of all
Trent
teams,
Dilfer's the only quarterback to get cut after winning a Super Bowl.
yeah, it's like
So
this is the team that you
pretty bad.
like. This is you could have picked so many teams though
Was Shannon on that Broncos team?
in
He
the
was, no?
'90s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did he win both?
He's a 3-time Super Bowl
Why
champion.
the fuck are we talking about that?
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like, bro, you had.
Why are we talking about 98?
Pretty sure TD ran for 2K in the same year they won one of their Super Bowls. So it's like,
And then won Super Bowl MVP.
with a migraine, it was like blind. Either way,
Yeah,
it's
couldn't
like,
see shit. Yeah.
it's like
Talk
nah,
about that team.
take that, but they didn't have the best defense of
The
all
defense,
time. So
exactly.
it's like, and truly, the Chiefs' defense were so praised going into this.
But here's the thing. The Eagles' defense won that game. The Eagles' offense did not need to show up like they did.
Against a quarterback that some people are saying is already greater than Tom Brady.
Is apparently miles ahead of Peyton Manning, miles ahead of Aaron Rodgers,
yes.
miles ahead of Brett Favre, miles ahead of Joe Montana, Steve, of Dan Marino, of all of the greats, just based off of a few Super Bowls. But meanwhile, has two of the worst Super Bowl performances of all time.
Yes,
and that just gets skated by because
So I mean, yeah. Besides that, I mean, old rules, their rules. It's still the worst offense probably to ever win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
definitely,
there's absolutely no world where the 2000 Ravens beat this Philly team. I'm sorry, it's just not happening. It's not.
But there's other teams from that era that you could stack up against this Philly team.
Like, how would the Greatest Show on Turf?
How would the Greatest Show on Turf?
How would they stack up?
Because this is somewhat the Greatest Show on Turf.
Yeah, this is
prime Saquon. This is prime Marshall Faulk.
This is at least a great show on turf. Like, the Ravens' offense wasn't a show on turf. It was a shit show on turf.
It was a fucking kill everybody show.
It was a dumpster fire on turf. But they just had the greatest defense ever.
Exactly.
And it was just a different.
What I can never remember, fucker's name. The Rams receiver.
Bruce Irvin.
Torrey Holt.
Bruce Irvin.
Both of them. Okay, gotcha.
Bruce Irvin's I'm thinking of the right name, right? I'm thinking of the right name. Bruce Smith.
No, Bruce Smith is the sack leader.
Okay, Bruce Irvin.
I think it's Bruce Irvin then.
No, Bruce Irvin's who am I thinking of?
It was Torrey Holt and
because Bruce Irvin is bro from Seattle.
It was Bruce. It was something Bruce. I don't think it was Irvin. Yeah, Bruce Irvin was on the Legion of Boom.
Where? Oh my God! Why can we not figure out Greatest Show on Turf?
Dude, I can never remember who they were. I mean, I think Marshall Faulk was one of the leading receivers.
The Greatest Show on Turf: Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk. Okay, come on, Torrey Holt, and then what was the other name? Come on, what was the other name?
It's not Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce is someone else.
Come on, what was the other name? There's Bruce or Irvin or something in this name.
There's a Bruce.
Isaac Bruce. We were saying Bruce Irvin, Isaac Irvin. It's Isaac Bruce. That's
Isaac Bruce. I didn't have the Isaac down.
Okay, that's what it was. All right. Okay, I'm glad we figured that out. Okay, yes. Devin, I got a couple episodes ago, we talked some NBA teams who are in the hot seat to lose their star or stars. You know, teams like Phoenix may end up with one out of the 3 stars possibly next year, or
possibly none.
I forgot who else we even mentioned, but today I got a couple other teams, and there's different reasons for different teams, and I'll explain. So, number one, I got Dallas. You make one of the most blockbuster, off-guard trades ever. Yeah.
One of the weirdest trades of all time. Probably the weirdest trade of all time.
And Kyrie did not sign up to play with this bullshit.
Fuck no, dude.
Like, I get it. There's been moments in Kyrie's career where he's been a difficult one, and we haven't been able to see him on the court.
Yeah.
But bro showed up to Dallas very disciplined and ready to hoop. Was very
ready to hoop.
Was very
with Luke. It was fully. I need to change my game to play with Luka type of focus.
And it
it worked.
They were in the finals. And it worked. And now he's dealing with an injured Anthony Davis. And, it's like, what are we doing?
A no Gafford. So now
So,
AD's got to play
you
center
know,
when he comes back.
with the time left, I don't know how much more time Kyrie's gonna waste with a team like Dallas who's bullshitting him like this.
I agree.
And I would absolutely say if we're talking about the hot seat of losing their star that they got left, they already got rid of their star.
They're real stars, yeah.
But their other star they brought on, I think they are very close to having to potentially part ways with.
And then you just have a fucking AD trying to run a fucking
And it's not AD and
shit dick team.
Clay Thompson and Anthony Davis.
Bro.
Come on, bro.
Dream team.
Come on. All right.
That's probably like the least compatible team you could build.
Devin, how do you feel about LaMelo Ball?
He is cool.
Like, am I crazy to say that even if he was healthy and played 82 games, Charlotte would never figure out how to build around him?
Yes.
Like, no matter how you feel about LaMelo, like, if you don't think he's the superstar people say he is, or if you don't think he's someone you could build around, or whatever.
I honestly think that he is.
Mind you, he's still super young, and it's like, I mean...
He's like, what, 22, 23 maybe?
Yeah, how old
he's 23.
How old is LaMelo Ball? I mean, he's definitely... He's only 23 years old. Yeah, 2001. Yeah. So...
But no, I mean, I think he's a... I mean... It's kind of similar to Trae Young.
Mm-hmm.
But I think LaMelo has more room to grow and be a more complete player than Trae Young.
I mean, solely off of...
solely off size.
Yeah, size alone.
But, he has the shooting ability. I mean, he's not as good of a shooter as Trae Young, but he has great shooting ability. He can run the point. He can do a lot. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Charlotte... They have zero.
Charlotte and like I said, 82 games healthy, and they would never be able to figure out how to build around LaMelo Ball or any star, mind you. It's just not the Charlotte Hornets. It's just not what they do. They don't know how to do that. They've never been able to do it, and I think, and especially when you got someone like LaMelo who, because this isn't like Zion where we're waiting to see bro play and we're just watching New Orleans just pedal along and try to figure it out. It's like, no, LaMelo has it all right now, and he's not really going to waste much more time with the Charlotte Hornets. They're just going to keep playing around with it.
I mean, LaMelo's starting to put it all together. I mean, I think he already has, but he's putting everything together and becoming a more complete player. Mm. And I think after he does, I think he's got a good window. And it should not be with the Charlotte Hornets.
Absolutely not. I would have to agree. It should not be with them. All right.
For his sake.
Let me say this first.
Boom.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with the Giannis and Dame duo.
Agreed.
I like it. I hope it continues. I hope they can figure it out. Maybe Bobby Portis can stop taking what did he take? He took something that got him suspended.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
he was off the juice?
No. He literally said, like, he even said, I'm pretty sure even Milwaukee like is fully like believing him, even if it's a lie. He took like Toradol or something like.
You can't take Toradol?
What did Bobby Portis take? He said it was a situation where it was like I was given this and I really didn't know I couldn't take it, like because he got suspended for violating the anti-drug. Tramadol. What did I say?
Toradol is like ibuprofen, strong ibuprofen.
Tramadol is what he took.
Tramadol. I don't know what that is.
That is what bro took. But I think that you expect a lot from that duo. And the same thing with Kyrie, where it's like if we're just looking at a timetable, if Milwaukee's a team that doesn't make it out of the first or second round,
mm-hmm.
It's not that Dame should walk, but maybe look at a team that is a Dame away from not being a question if they're going to be contenders or not.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the weird thing about Milwaukee, was like when Dame was planning on going there, was that Milwaukee kind of did their thing already.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like honestly, Milwaukee was just them putting themselves back together away from fighting for a championship again.
Mm.
Dame obviously is a cool addition, but it wasn't like a necessary. They're a Dame away from being great, and it didn't really take them to the next level. It's
Um,
cool.
Here's some players that don't deserve to rot in Utah. Lauri Markkanen, Colin
Jordan Clarkson,
Sexton, John Collins, Jordan Clarkson.
very young
Um,
players with potential.
like Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton,
Not very young.
John Collins, Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
You have
Like
four
the
of,
second you go to Utah and put that ugly ass jersey on, no one talks about you.
but like it is criminal that their careers are being wasted in Utah right now.
Of
When
course.
they could literally all four be on another team just in a better market
Yes.
or just a better team. And
But none of these guys are going to be ones
okay.
or top players on teams. Lori, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, they all got their I don't this team could this is a squad full of hoopers that would be fun to watch just on a daily basis. I don't know if they're in the contender conversation. But they shouldn't
Yeah,
be
but
13 wins?
nice.
13 wins. 13 wins.
Spectacular.
So
But no, I think that each of those players
14
can
wins.
have an impact on a contending team. If you put them on a team by themselves, it's not going to.
Absolutely.
worth it.
You could send all four
But
of these.
all those dudes can go assist real teams. Put one of those guys on the Lakers.
Put one of them guys on
Put someone
Dallas.
on the Suns. Put someone on Dallas. Put someone somewhere.
Yes, bro. Come on.
Move these guys.
Just saying. It's like that is a team. Fuck a hot seat. It's a hot city. It's just a hot
For real.
team. It's just they all need to just up and go. Indiana.
Mm.
Now they're sitting in a weird spot because after last season, I believe their expectations are through the roof. And they
Yes.
started off a little shaky, but now they're sitting at what? They're sitting at fifth. They're sitting at the fifth seed, 32-24. So
It's not bad at all.
their expectations were high. They're sitting in the fourth in the East. They're sitting at fifth in the East. Now it's it's not that big of a drop off after
it's tight.
third. It's
Yep.
37 for the Knicks, and then 32 wins for the Pacers, or 32 wins for the Bucks, 32 wins for the Pacers. The thing is, right now, playoff start, Pacers Bucks first round.
Bucks.
Pacers it's 4-1, 4-2.
Yeah.
It's 4-1, 4-2. And
I mean, yeah.
but it's if I'm Tyrese Halliburton and it's like I just had this great year last season, and we come off next year we come out next year in a slump. It's like maybe you take a step back and you go. It's like yes, I was able to produce a lot with what I have here in Indiana. But maybe Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam isn't as attractive as I thought.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like maybe they just maybe it just wasn't as an appealing three-headed monster as Tyrese Halliburton had expected. Now, obviously, I think he's going to be in Indiana for a brick. But if we're just talking in this league, particularly in this league alone, Devin, I mean, this is a completely player-driven league. If Tyrese Halliburton in the next year or two becomes completely unsatisfied with the Indiana Pacers, he's going to be able to find a way out.
Yes.
So,
well, my thing it's like I know Tyrese is good and wants to be a Pacer or whatever, but there's no like clear cut like with Charlotte. It's like Charlotte does not deserve LaMelo.
yes.
With the Pacers, it's like Tyrese is so streaky and even at his best, they're not, or this team at least isn't a true contender. But that's kind of how the Pacers are. They're kind of a middle of the road type of squad. I don't know if the Pacers deserve any more. I don't know if Tyrese Halliburton deserves more. But I think Tyrese. I mean, I don't think this Pacers thing is going to work.
I mean, Miles Turner was
unless they really change some shit up. But
Miles Turner was in conversations for trades earlier this year, and Siakam seemed more of a like, here, fuck it, Like
Yeah,
we're gonna
let's
we're
see
gonna
what
tag you up
happens.
with
Yeah.
Siakam, which isn't obviously there's nothing wrong with the move. It's just it doesn't really seem like they're like fully bought in. Tyrese is our star. Let's build around him right now. Or it's just let's just
Yeah.
get names. Let's get
Yeah.
Pascal. Let's
Exactly. Yeah.
or and then but just the fact that they're seeing what they could get from Miles Turner makes me wonder what exactly their plan is for the future.
Yeah.
But there's my part two of NBA teams on the hot seat to lose their star or stars. I got some athletes for you to guess, Devin.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I got some athletes for you to guess. Five facts, three different athletes, five facts for each. And we're gonna see if you can guess them. All right, first player. This player played in the NFL Europe League. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. He's played for
What the fuck?
He's played for three teams. He was the first defensive player of the year who was undrafted. He's
I'm trying
played
to think if I got that one deep in the bag or not.
He's played in 4 Super Bowls, has won 3.
God damn. These are very weird facts.
This player played 4 more years after his first retirement.
He retired and then played 4 more years.
He announced his retirement and went on to play 4 more seasons.
All right, undrafted Depoy. 3 Super Bowls, played in 4.
Even played in the Europe League. Back when the NFL had a Europe League and NFL teams had Europe teams.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
3 different teams. 3 and 1 in the
me.
Super Bowl.
So 3 different teams.
3 different teams.
How many of those teams won Super Bowls?
2.
Okay. Okay.
Undrafted. Really, it should be the undrafted Depoy.
The undrafted Depoy is where I'm looking.
And maybe you forgot this player was undrafted just because of how dominant he was.
Fuck.
I mean, the only other
Good.
the only other fact I could probably throw in there is his stock draft drafted from what I read. Now, I recently saw an interview where he was like, there was an incident. Now, I didn't see anything about an incident, but there were reports of during his draft that he was just undersized.
Okay. Undersized.
For his position. Like too small to play this, not too big to play that.
LT?
No.
I didn't think so.
LT just came out and said he doesn't remember his draft night because he drank 41 beers.
Oh, nice.
In that night, he drank 41
and then smoked
beers.
some crack.
Yeah. I'm starting to think he's just a glorified drug addict.
I think he is a drug addict.
Like LT, because they always like glorify the stories of like what I just said. Like LT doesn't remember his draft night because he drank 41 beers. It's like,
yeah,
that is sad.
He was probably like really fucked up.
Well, I'm just saying, and not to put anything on anybody, but it's like who knows like how close you were to being like a Len Bias.
Of course,
like,
yeah.
You go out.
He was probably pretty close.
You go out
but
and make
he was LT smart. He was smoking the stuff.
Yeah, but you go out and make one mistake and then
You're cooked.
You're cooked. But all right, who you thinking of?
Undrafted, bro. What the fuck?
Undrafted.
Reggie White?
Nope.
What the fuck? Is that the right era?
Nope.
I'm in the wrong era?
Played in the Euro League.
I'm getting confused with the fucking Europa League.
3 teams.
Europe League.
First Depoy who was undrafted. I'll give you one more guess. 4 Super Bowl games, 3 Super Bowl wins.
I don't know. Depoy's like that. Vince
Right.
Wilfork.
No, Devin. The player who played in the Europe League for the Baltimore Ravens Europe League team. He played for 3 teams. He played in 4 Super Bowls. He played 4 years after his first retirement. He was the first decoy who was undrafted and won that award in 2008. Devin, it's James Harrison.
Oh, mother of fuck. He was undrafted?
Mm-hmm. It's you never seen that interview clip? He's getting interviewed, and the interviewer's like asking him like his draft day was, and
Yeah.
James Harrison like looks at the background. He goes, "This guy don't know me, does he?" He's like, "You don't know me." He's like, "What are
I
you talking
have
about?"
seen that.
And
Fuck.
he's like, "I didn't get drafted." And then he's like, "Okay, what about the combine?" He's like, "I didn't get invited to the combine."
I didn't go to the
Like it was
combine.
like I didn't go to the combine. It was like it's like
I know he went to a small school.
Kent State.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Kent State.
Julian Edelman. 3 Super Bowls. I guess he lost
He lost the one
to
to
the
Green Bay,
Packers.
and he was on the 52.
Patriots team, right?
Yeah, he was on the Patriots team that beat the Rams, I believe.
No.
He retired in
Falcons.
2018.
Falcons.
Okay then. Okay, makes sense. Whatever team it was. All right, next player.
That's crazy.
This player was drafted to the Padres.
Mm.
This player was the first freshman to throw for 3,000 yards.
First freshman?
First freshman to throw for 3,000 yards.
What, in the NCAA?
Yeah.
Really?
First freshman to throw for 3,000 yards.
Yeah.
This player has a size 15 cleat. It's a
Big penis.
Big cleat, big socks.
Big cleat. Big cletus.
This player.
I wish I knew shoe sizes like that. Huh?
This player had the biggest NFL rookie Nike deal of all time.
After the cleat thing, I was going to say Nick Foles, but I don't think it's Nick Foles anymore.
It's not Nick Foles.
You said biggest cleat deal?
Biggest NFL rookie Nike deal. Nike deal, period. Biggest NFL rookie Nike deal.
Steve McNizzle?
No.
Oh, what the heck?
No.
God damn. Nike deal.
This player has played for a total of 4 different professional football leagues.
4 different leagues?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Money Manziel, baby.
It's Johnny Manziel.
He played for 4. I know he played in the CFL.
He played. He played for the XFL at one point, I believe, or it was
or one of those.
He
USFL.
He did play Canadian, I believe, and then he was
He played Canadian right after. Yeah.
Fan controlled football. Remember that?
He did. You're right. The Arena League stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. He has a size. It was a big thing when I was reading on Johnny Manziel. He's barely 6 foot, but size 15 cleat.
Really?
And like really big hands.
I did not realize he's got a size 15 foot.
Size 15 cleat.
Good for him.
So yeah. Now we know.
Custom cleats.
All right, this last player. This player has the second most fourth quarter comebacks in a season all time. This player is 6th in active total passing yards. This player's made 4 Pro Bowls.
I think I got it. But yeah, continue.
Go ahead.
No, continue.
Take your shot.
No, just
take your shot.
Stafford.
No.
Fuck.
No. He's played for 2 teams.
Wait, 6th in active yards
6th
of all time?
Active. Out of active quarterbacks, he's number 6 in total yards.
4 Pro Bowls, 2 teams.
He is one of only 5 quarterbacks to throw 100 touchdowns in his first 4 years. Second most fourth quarter comebacks in a season all time. 6 in active total passing yards. 4 Pro Bowls, 2 teams. One of only 5 quarterbacks to throw 100 touchdowns in their first 4 years.
I thought Kirk, but he's got 3 teams now. 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
6th in active passing yards.
Second
100
most
touchdowns
fourth quarter comebacks in a season.
in a
I
season.
believe it was 7 or 8.
Yeah. All right. 2-team quarterbacks. I mean, Derek Carr.
It's Derek Carr.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
Derek Carr.
I remember he had that crazy year
Mm-hmm.
with a ton of comebacks. I thought he would have. Because he's played so long, I thought he would be further up in active passing yards.
Yeah, but like you said, there's Stafford still active.
Aaron.
Rogers still active. I mean,
Flacco.
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan's not active.
I didn't mean to say Matt Ryan. For some reason I thought of Kirk. Don't know why I thought of Kirk.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Kirk could.
where is Kirk up there? I'm interested now.
Flacco.
Most active passing yards. So I believe it's Aaron right now.
Has to be.
Oh, okay. Here, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr.
Okay, Kirk's a step above.
Andy Dalton, Jared Goff, Ryan Tannehill, Patrick Mahomes.
Damn, I forgot. Jared Goff has Mahomes beat. Good for him.
Jared Goff has Mahomes beat for now.
These few years.
All right. Well, Devin, for an interesting podcast where I had to deal with a newborn at home, I'd say we did pretty good.
We did that.
You know, we talked Shannon Sharpe being a little silly on his takes. Maybe a little.
I mean, it's not his worst take ever, but it's hard to defend.
It'd take me some time to go find his worst takes ever because I don't know. He's not one to take his takes so serious that they're.
Yeah, he's not a Stephen A.
Yeah, he's not gonna go so overboard.
He's not just out here just making crazy takes all the day.
NBA teams losing their stars. Deebo Samuel. Top 5 teams that didn't make the playoffs with the best odds to make it next year, Devin. Is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No.
Oh, I didn't know where that was coming from. I'm not gonna lie.
It was like it was weird.
Yeah, that was. I feel like that
Like
could have went either way.
Gurgling.
All right. Well, hopefully you all enjoyed this episode of On It. We will be back on Saturday to discuss maybe where Matt Stafford's going to go. Maybe 5 playoff teams who have the worst odds to make the playoffs next year. Maybe we get to look at the teams that CBS said is poised to take a major fall next year. More athletes to guess. We'll have some other shit to talk about. But with all that being said, brand new episodes every Tuesday and Saturday. We will be back on Saturday. It has been me. It has been Devin. It has been real. We are out.
Yes.